One of the reasons we're here today is because Amber has been withholding the two boys from their father, Eli Adler. It's been over 4 years now. This whole scheme was done purposely so she could parade the children around town as she runs for city council. And putting that aside, she took away Eli's green card. He's not able to come back to America. She doesn't let him speak to the children on the phone, which is child abuse. In my opinion, it's a form of child abuse. Even murderers, which Eli is not, they get to see their kids. Why can't she let them? Why can't she let him see his kids? So we're here at this corner. She lives on the corner of R and East 13th where we are. We're here to protest against that today. And we're asking her to do the right thing and let Eli see the kids.
That if a person can't even treat her husband properly and her children properly, because the children need to see their father, because it's in the Torah, and if this woman is anti-Torah, anti-derech eretz, anti-humanity, she will kill us. If she's elected, we'll all suffer. The way her husband is suffering, we will all suffer. The way her husband is suffering and her children are suffering. And it's an issa d'oraisa to vote for this woman, and anyone who votes for her is being over Hashem's ratzon. And no one should ever vote for a person like this who's cruel to the brias, such as her own children and her own family and her own husband. And if she'll do the same to us, and anyone who votes for her is mentally ill, is violating the Torah, and should be put in chayrim.
Amber Adler is running for city council. What are your thoughts?
This is our leader. This is going to be a leader. Is this going to be the example that we're going to give the next generation for the children? That a person that destroys children should now be a leader in our generation? For our council here in Brooklyn? Terrible. Absolutely terrible. It's very sad. You know, in general, the court system is corrupt. And to Parental and Eliezer, welcome, welcome. It's another family. These are all families. People are afraid to even come here. They're sitting in the cars. I know them personally. And they can't see their children for many, many, many years. Grandchildren, great-grandchildren. What did the grandparents do wrong? But a woman could just go to court and make up stories, and it's very sad. And then the court system just gives them an order of protection, and then 2 days later the man is arrested. One after the next after the next. And then everyone looks in the community and says, well, he's been arrested, so he must be a terrible person. Everybody's getting arrested. All of us have been arrested. You go on, there's hundreds and hundreds of people have been arrested falsely, wrongly. There's no reason to take a father from their children. There's no reason a child should not see a father. Every child was given, God-given, father and a mother. And that was God's choice. There's no reason that the courts should take away the father from the children. And the courts are actually enabling it. You know, just like Mendel Epstein, Yamach Shemoy, cursed his name. He should change his ways. He's sitting, thank God, in jail, and the FBI finally put him away. They should put away Tzipora Winters. She's his protege. She works in Jersey court. She's a lawyer, and she's destroying children every single day. Not because she's a great lawyer, but because she's a good liar. She twists the story, and the courts allow it. If the courts wouldn't allow it, she would be nobody. But the courts just allow it because she's figured out a system from Mendel Epstein, learned it from him, and she's his protege. And now she's just following through and making these terrible terror against men and taking hundreds of thousands of dollars and built her business on it. Ahuva Grun, there's another one. This is a case of hers that now everybody knows. Ahuva Grun is the one that's helping Tzipora Winters twist the minds of the new women that are coming and make them think that we're going to win everything and get them all vindictive and train them into divorce planning. That's terrible. That's not the way a Jew should be. It's not the way any human being should be. We have to care about the children first. Today they're running around with these Aguna signs. Rabbi Victor Miller spoke and he said, Agunas are people who are dead to themselves. You don't lock a father out of a house. You have a problem? Go to your parents' house. Don't lock him out of the house that he just worked for. They made these anger issues. Of course he's not going to give her a get. You just caused it upon yourself. We are Jews. We need to be a light unto the nation. We don't have to light them up with fire and burn them. We have to be a light. You have to make sure to do the right thing sweetly, nicely. You come and protest with a shofar just like King David came. King David came with a shofar to war. This is a war that we want to help children. Children should not lose their parent. This is very important. The Bezdin system is complicated. It's complicated. Well, Bezdins aren't wrong. They have only a certain amount that they can do. But if a woman makes up a story and now they come to Bezdin, it doesn't mean the Bezdin believes them or doesn't believe them. It means that the Bezdin is governed by the court system. The court system says that the guy is in jail. Bezdin could stand and spit with nickels. It doesn't make a difference. The guy's still going to be in jail. Falsely. It's irrelevant. Now you're going to... So now, but the thing is that he comes to Bezdin now from jail, and Bezdin kind of looks at him like a jailbird because he just came out of jail, and he's like, I can't believe I went to jail. It's very sad. So it's not the Bezdin's fault per se. They are coerced by the English court system, and that's why we know that the English court system, the American court system, is corrupt. And it's McDonald's justice. You could just get an order of protection. You go to night court, everybody knows. Woman goes, "Whoa, he did this to me." You get an order of protection. They called the cops. We had the cops here just now. They said, "Yeah, we know that." Oh, the Jewish community. Oh, we know that. Everybody knows that. All the cops know that the women are. It's just stories, made up stories. They said, "But we can't do anything." The officers say, we can't do anything because she already went to court, made up the story, and the judge made a judgment, McDonald's justice, within 5 minutes, and the guy has an order of protection. And then she just says that he finds where he's walking, and she, within 3 blocks of him, and boom, she makes up a story. We had here, there's a young man sitting here. His wife came after him to kill him. He came to us and said, "I'm going to die." So we helped him. Looked through his case. We're for children. You know, this is a National Coalition of Civil Rights for Children. And, you know, we looked over his case and we saw that it's just, this guy, besides this guy couldn't hurt a fly, you know, it's just stories. We looked into it further and further and further. The courts didn't even look into it. Like, they didn't even, just put the guy straight in jail and sat him away, and, you know, and he's already going on his second offense, and he doesn't even know what the first offense was for. And it's sad. Now he didn't see his kids for years. And she's twisted wealthy, what's called in the Jewish community, haskanim, wealthy people who run after a woman. Oh, she's cute, and then therefore they help her. Very sad. Should not be like that. It's not the way the Torah teaches us. My main focus is not on downing the haskanim. My main focus is on helping the children. We are here because the kids come back and they say, "How come no one ever stood up for us? You never said anything. Everywhere you go, there's women making protests, but no place is there a man standing up and speaking for me." How many years children fight to see their fathers, but the courts played around, but they never saw anyone. And here we are in the center of Flatbush on East 13, right here on Avenue R, right across from a woman who stole her children, and she's running for a government office. What's going on? Have we just gone insane? Are we going to hold a blind eye to the children? Why aren't children first? That's what we hear about the children. Oh. You have to start somewhere. I told my friend Levi, even if one person shows, it's 2 people. Tomorrow there'll be 3. The next day there'll be 3,000. There are many. And we had a very nice showing. We had many, about 40 or 50 people that stayed here. And then we had at least 50 or 60 people that keep driving by, if not many more, that I personally know their cases. Their children in the car, and they're driving. And kids came by on their bicycles who were alienated from their dads. They're afraid to come here because their moms will penalize them if they're seen on TV, or if they're seen and people here have cameras. It's time to come out of the woodwork. It's time to help children. Children are first.
Now, how the yeshiva is handling this, accepting kids into the yeshiva with divorced parents?
It's a very difficult question. Some yeshivas tell the mom, listen, if the kid can't learn with his father and you made up stories, just take your kid, bring him someplace else. Some yeshivas stand up and take the kid out. Unfortunately, you have places like who opens up his school and steals a child. His kid was he's supposed to have children who that are on drugs, and he takes in children from homes that the kid never saw a drug in his life, and now he makes him like as if he's the best kid in the whole yeshiva. Of course he is. Everyone else is on drugs. Why are their voices not heard? You know, there are people. Please don't turn the camera across the street. There are people looking. They're children. I know them personally. They can't believe, and they're taking pictures of us as we're talking. They can't believe that someone is standing up for them. And they're adults today. They're already teenagers. We stand here with a chauffeur because we're at war for children. We stand here on behalf of children. And this has to stop. This is why people like Jewel, change your ways. We're asking you to bend over, say, no, I'm not going to hurt people. I'll change my ways. Yeah, she could be the counselor. She can go for it. We don't have a problem with that. But change your ways. You know, there's a word, Yamach Shemo. It means change your name. Change your actions. It doesn't mean that you're wicked forever. We're asking you to change your ways. Please free the children. Let them see their father. That's what we're asking for.
The reason why we blow bubbles is because it's such a peaceful action to take, and to remember all the children that are, you know, being abused and not being able to see their parents, whichever one it is, their mother, their father, blowing bubbles, adding energy, good vibes to the world. I also want to say that over the last couple of weeks I had conversations with married friends of mine who, I guess you could say, were just like me up until about a year ago and didn't want to get involved. It's not a cause, it's not something that they want to get involved with. It's too much hostility, and there's too much triggers, and they don't want to get involved. And you know, I hope and I pray that these people that don't want to get involved, they should never know from it. But this is something that can creep up to those who are least expecting it. 50% of people are getting divorced, and many divorces are hostile. You never know. So I believe that the community should be really taking proactive actions to speak about it, to create awareness, and to make it the mainstream that children, it's not about your bad relationship, husband or wife, that children, it should be mainstream, stereotypical, that all children should be able to have access to their father and their mother. What about those parents, the mother, the father, they're in jail for murder or for this or whatever? I mean, it's not really so popular, but you have to make the distinction. There are sometimes you want to protect the child, and you certainly do want to make sure this child is not abused by this specific parent. You have cases like that, and they're known. This is something else. This is parental alienation. Learn the distinction, and then notice what happens when you have children that are being deprived from the other parent. And I believe that what should also become mainstream is, just like you have chassan classes and kala classes, people take you know, different types of workshops to be able to be prepared. You're coming from a community where, you know, the children, the boys are in boys' schools and the girls are in girls' schools. They're teaching something, how to be married. There's action being taken there. There should also be divorce classes. Someone's about to get divorced, or it's in the thoughts of it, whatever it is. They should be mainstream already, that there's classes that are really instilling in the parents that it's children, keeping the children first, and really underscoring and becoming mainstream that forget about lawyers. Try to start moving away from there. So much money is wasted there. Try to go more towards affordable mediation, workability. Your kids are going to gain.